Let's talk about the Houston Texans, because this is what you do in free agency when you have a star quarterback on a rookie deal and you also have a great defensive lineman in Will Anderson as well. I want to start with the offensive pieces first. They went out there and they got Joe Mixon. Now, Joe Mixon is not going to be a top 5 running back or a top 10 running back in the NFL. They lost Devin Singletary to the New York Giants. But you bring in a guy like Joe Mixon, a very good veteran that can catch the football at the backfield and can be a very good target with CJ Stroud in the red zone. I love that. 1,034 rushing yards on the season, 9 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 4 yards a carry. I love that. And you pair him up with Dameon Pierce. Now, Dameon Pierce did not have the best season this season. Dameon Pierce was the odd man out. Everyone else was showing up and showing out. He did not fit that zone read system with Bobby Slowick, but he still is a very good power back that can get you 2 to 3 yards at a time. I love them bringing in Joe Mixon. He's a playmaker, and you got him for cheap. You trade a low draft pick to get this guy. He is older. He does have a lot of mileage on his body, but he's still a solid running back to have around CJ. I can definitely see this team going into the first round and drafting a wide receiver in this great wide receiving class, because you look at the wide receivers with this team. Nico Collins is very good, but you want to add in more depth behind him and add in another big playmaker to come in and help out CJ. Nico Collins had 1,297 receiving yards in the season, 8 receiving touchdowns. That was the 8th most receiving yards in the NFL. And people forget about Tank Dell. Tank Dell, before he suffered that broken leg against the Denver Broncos, 709 receiving yards on the season, 7 receiving touchdowns, and is a great deep threat as well. 15 yards a catch. Robert Woods. Now, this is a guy that you look at. Solid veteran wide receiver. But he's not the ideal fit with this team, with CJ in the situation that they're in right now. And here's the number 3 wide receiver. 426 receiving on the season, 1 receiving touchdown. They need to add in some more wide receivers to come in and help out a guy like CJ. And you can do that because CJ's on his rookie deal right now. Now, I don't see them going through free agency and doing that. I can see them going through the NFL draft and doing that. They also extended Dalton Schultz to a 3-year deal. Dalton Schultz was a very good tight end with this team this season, made some big plays, 635 receiving yards on the season, 5 receiving touchdowns. And the offensive line has gotten better as well. We have Laramie Tunsil. If he's fully healthy, he's a top tackle in the NFL. I like his game a lot. He had a lot of scrolls this season due to those injuries, but when he's fully healthy, he's very good. And the same with Titus Howard. Majority of this season, the offensive line was decimated, and CJ put up good numbers with this offensive line being decimated. They can go out there and they can get some more depth pieces, similar to what they did last season. They basically went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and say, hey, give us Shaq Mason. We'll give you a draft pick for him. If they want to do some things like that, I will love that. But continue to build the offensive line and put some depth pieces behind guys like Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard. Offensively, they're set. You just need to bring in another wide receiver, and you'll be okay, in my opinion. CJ is the real deal. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL after that star-studded rookie season. Now, defensively is where things get very good. DeMeco Ryans was a former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. And he basically went out there and he prided himself on one thing defensively: pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. He's a former linebacker. He played great at Alabama. He was phenomenal with the Houston Texans. So we know he loves the front 7. This team went out and they got Danielle Hunter, who had 16 and a half sacks on the season, 4 forced fumbles. This is a game-changing move for the Houston Texans because they lost Jonathan Grenard to the Minnesota Vikings. Oddly enough, Jonathan Grenard and Danielle Hunter basically just switched teams. Danielle Hunter used to play for the Minnesota Vikings. Jonathan Grenard led this team in sacks. He now plays for the Minnesota Vikings. You get Danielle Hunter, who seems like he's been in the NFL forever, but he's still in his 20s. You pair him up with Will Anderson, who only has 7 sacks on the season, but had a high pressure rate. One of the highest pressure rates for a rookie in the NFL. Yes, he only sacked the quarterback 7 times, but he was getting in the quarterback face a lot, and he was stopping the run, and he was walking down running backs. I think that Will Anderson, when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL for the next couple of years, for sure. And you pair him up with Danielle Hunter, who's a game wrecker at that linebacking spot. I love this right here. You have your 2 bookend edge rushers. And not only did you just go do that, you also bring in Nico Autry, who had 11 and a half sacks for the Tennessee Titans. You take him away from a division rival. So you know that stings if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. That really hurts because you take this guy away and you put him on your team. Amazing run stopper, can get to the quarterback. Overall, a good defensive lineman. When you look at the defensive line for the Houston Texans, it's crazy. And this is something that they need. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens twice. once in the NFL playoffs, once in the regular season. The best way to beat the Baltimore Ravens, stop the run, get to Lamar Jackson. The best way to beat some of these top tier teams in the AFC, stop the run, get to the quarterback. And that's what Nico Collins is going to do. He went out there and he led the San Francisco 49ers to have one of the best defenses in the NFL at that time. He's doing it again right now. Steven Nelson had some solid moments with this team. They've yet to re-sign him. He's still a free agent as I record this video, but this team did go out there and they did sign Jeff Okudah. Now, Jeff Okudah was a bust with the Detroit Lions. He was no good. Went over to the Atlanta Falcons. He did perform solid. I think that he's a good option to have alongside Derek Stingley Jr., especially because you need more secondary help. Jalen Petrie did not have the best season this season, had a very good season his rookie season, and he was benched this season as well. I think that Jalen Petrie can play up to that next level if given that opportunity. I want to see him get more snaps with Nico Collins. I think that he could be a very good safety, but this season was not his best season. But I like the pieces that they have. You have Jimmy Ward, who's a good strong safety in the NFL, just a good veteran to have around. And you have Derek Stingley Jr., who's one of the best corners in the NFL this season. And he missed some time dealing with a hamstring injury, had 5 interceptions on the season, and had 13 pass deflections. He is phenomenal. Phenomenal. His rookie season, he was not put into the best situation with Lovie Smith. They ran that Tampa 2. You come over with Nico Collins, they run that press man coverage. And next thing you know, this kid looks like a straight up superstar. And you also have some good linebackers as well. I think Christian Harris, if you give him more time, he could be a solid linebacker with this team. I'm not worried about linebackers with this team. One thing that Nico Collins specializes in is developing linebackers because, like I mentioned before, he's a former linebacker and he's not just some former scrub. This is a guy that had a great season with the Houston Texans when he was a rookie. This is a guy that was amazing at Alabama when he was a linebacker. It is rare that you find coaches that had major success at the college level and at the NFL level become head coaches, and then next thing you know, they're developing these guys that used to play their positions. So I'm not worried about the linebacking spot. I'm worried about the secondary more so right now. They can still get a cornerback in the NFL draft. They can still go out there in free agency and try to double dip as well. But right now, I love the moves that the Houston Texans have made, and they can make some big time moves because CJ is on that rookie deal. This is what some of the best teams in the NFL do. They get a quarterback, they let him develop, and they get him at that level to where he's cheap right now. And you make those moves to get those high value free agents, guys like Danico Autry, guys like Danielle Hunter. And you basically got those guys on short-term deals. You got Danielle Hunter for a straight up bargain. And you also got Dalton Schultz for a straight up bargain as well. And you have guys like Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They're still on cheap deals right now. Now, Nico Collins' contract is coming up sooner than later. And he showed that he could be a number one wide receiver if you give him the time. But you add in another wide receiver, the Houston Texans can run this division. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. They're in a bit of a weird situation. They can still be a top tier team. Don't sleep on them too much. You look at the Tennessee Titans. They're in a rebuild type of situation right now. Will Levis is trying to build up that offensive line. And the Indianapolis Colts, they're a strong team. But what is Anthony Richardson? He needs more reps. Right now, the Houston Texans seem like that they are the favorite to go out there and run this division for the next couple of years, but we will see. But I love the free agency moves that they have made. I say this with every free agency video. You have to wait for things to play out, wait for guys to play at the next level. But based off of what the Houston Texans did this season, they're going to be major contenders in the AFC as a whole, and do not sleep on this team. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Houston Texans moving forward, and are they making the right decisions? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, when each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.